Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. The public polls are in, and the most despised member of the Trump cabinet is Attorney General Pam Bondi, and it's not close.
The net popularity of Trump cabinet members. Look who has the lowest number on your screen right here that I could find. Look how far underwater Pam Bondi is at minus 19 points. Now, none of the folks on your screen here are in positive territory, but none of them are as far underwater as Pam Bondi at minus 19 points. She is, at least by the numbers that I'm looking at, the least liked member of Donald Trump's cabinet, and it ain't even close.
And those awful numbers for Bondi, with far more people disapproving than approving of her, came before her latest controversy.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society. We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
Lawyers across the spectrum and legal analysts across the board quickly pounced.
This is basically what every petty autocrat wants: make your whims the law. Okay, little clarity. There's no such thing as hate speech in American federal law. The words never appear in the U.S. Code. And the Supreme Court, for decades, Republicans and conservatives alike, have again and again and again said when the government wants to punish speech, they have to meet an incredibly high burden. That came in a case where somebody threatened to shoot Lyndon Johnson, in a case where somebody burned a cross on a lawn, in a case of stalking a singer-songwriter, and in the case of the Westboro Baptist Church, which staged these despicable demonstrations outside the funerals of fallen soldiers. Each time, the Supreme Court overturned a conviction won by the government. It is almost impossible to win.
It is almost impossible to win a prosecution over free speech. Online, Fox News analyst Brit Hume, a conservative, wrote, "Someone needs to explain to Miss Bondi that so-called hate speech, repulsive though it may be, is protected by the First Amendment. She should know this." Bondi clearly didn't know this, and that caused her to panic. She soon issued an online clarification.
Posted on Twitter, quote, "Hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence is not protected by the First Amendment. It's a crime."
Bondi then went on Fox News to attempt more damage control. But she again targeted speech that she and other conservatives do not like. And Bondi urged companies and businesses to take action.
And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things, and they shouldn't be working with you.
Bondi then spoke about an Office Depot worker in Michigan who refused to print a flyer praising Charlie Kirk.
Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that. I have Harmeet Dillon right now in our civil rights unit looking at that immediately, that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that.
Conservative influencer Matt Walsh responded on X, "Get rid of her today. This is insane. Conservatives have fought for decades for the right to refuse service to anyone. We won that fight. Now Pam Bondi wants to roll it all back for no reason. The employee who didn't print the flyer was already fired by his employer. This stuff is being handled successfully through free speech and free markets. This is totally gratuitous and pointless." Bondi's point seemed to be that by attacking liberal or progressive speech, she was honoring the late Charlie Kirk. Bondi was wrong about that as well. Last year, Kirk posted on X, "Hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free." But Pam Bondi seems determined to keep speech in America restricted to just what she and Donald Trump want. However, even the conservative Wall Street Journal editorial page is blasting Bondi. Headline, "Pam Bondi needs a free speech tutorial. The Attorney General seems to think hate speech is illegal. Charlie Kirk knew better." Quote, "Is a basic understanding of the First Amendment too much to expect from the nation's Attorney General?" Bondi's lack of understanding and her threats have alarmed Americans, especially online.
I went back and looked at every single week. More folks are searching for free speech this week on Google than any week in at least 5 years. And of course, not surprisingly, who's the top trending topic with free speech? Well, it's Pam Bondi, of course. People are taking her comments, looking it up, interested in it. And as you saw from that Wall Street Journal editorial, they ain't liking it too much from the left to the right.
And never mind the anger at Bondi over her claims about speech, frustration is also building for how she and FBI Director Kash Patel have mishandled the case against Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. Bondi seems more interested in self-promotion and administration narratives than in delivering facts.
Everyone worked so hard. This was solved so fast thanks to the work of Kash Patel, the FBI, and all of our local partners working together.
This wasn't solved by law enforcement. The arrest was made because the alleged shooter turned himself in. His own family and friends did the law enforcement and got him to surrender. Also, Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel have both said things publicly about the evidence that is incorrect. And that will help defense lawyers and make the prosecution case more difficult. Bondi and Patel have also pledged to bring criminal charges against people who heckled President Trump.
What we saw the last couple of days from Kash Patel, from Pam Bondi, it's just a clown show. I mean, there's no technical term for it, but they don't know the basics to not understand that hate speech is protected speech. To say you're going to indict people for racketeering, law I used to use to go after mob families, for racketeering because they were heckling the president in a seafood restaurant. So it would be nice to start with some base competency.
And that lack of competency with Bondi also extends to her approach to the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Nobody, for the most part, likes how the Trump administration has been handling them. Of course, she's been a key leadership role in this. I mean, look at this. Approval of the Trump administration on the Epstein files. It's just 19%. 90% of all votes, 67% disapprove. Among Democrats, it's 2%. Independents, 12%, and even among Republicans, you can't even get to 50% approval. And of course, this just goes all the way back. You're building a case step by step by step. Who is the biggest pain in the rear end in the Donald Trump administration for him? Who is he having to answer for? Oftentimes it's for Pam Bondi. The free speech situation is just another example of that. And we're just going to have to wait and see where it goes. But at this particular point, there's a reason why Pam Bondi is by far the lowest and the least liked member of Donald Trump's cabinet.
And reinforcing the point, if you campaign on something and you promise something over and over again and then you don't follow through with it, people do remember that.
Exactly right. And of course, Pam Bondi made some big promises on the Epstein files and could not deliver.
So, should Pam Bondi be fired? Well, at this time when our nation is deeply divided and in desperate need of unity to cool things down, the one thing most Americans can agree on is that Pam Bondi is a disaster. She should not be the Attorney General. However, that issue is up to President Donald Trump, and Trump has repeatedly proven to be as corrupt, incompetent, and dishonest as Pam Bondi. By the way, the Jeffrey Epstein scandal is about to explode again, this time in Congress. Democrats and a few Republicans will soon have the signatures they need to force a vote on releasing all the Epstein files.
I admire Congressman Massey's courage. I admire Nancy Mace's courage, Marjorie Taylor Greene's courage, Lauren Boebert's courage. They are standing with survivors. We have the votes. Let's get a vote this month and get the files released.
The pressure that's on the House of Representatives right now is going to go to the Senate after this passes the House. I think we're going to get a resounding vote on this.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from No Such Thing, who wrote, "Imagine working for the FBI and hiding Trump's crimes." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about Attorney General Pam Bondi angering the public even more and causing even diehard MAGA to call for Bondi's removal. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.